of the things that we don't necessarily talk about a lot here is our commitment to the arts. I think that we see Hastings College, the Dinsdale Art Center. We have a great symphony. In fact, Tom was just telling us this morning. What's our claim to fame, Tom?
We have the oldest continuous symphony in the state of Nebraska.
Oldest continuous symphony in the state of Nebraska. So
it's not too much Nicholas for anyhow.
So don't quote me. We'll blame this on Tom if it's wrong. But no, we've got that. We've got the Hastings Community Theater. We have all these great statues downtown. We've got so many great things going on here in Hastings, and I just want to thank the community for supporting the arts. And I want to congratulate you. It's a great piece that you've got over here, as well as the CRA and Dutton Langston and all the other partners that come out to promote these kinds of things. So thank you very much. I'm going to keep it short. I know we're all a little bit cold out here, and I suppose we're probably handing it over to the man himself, maybe.
Give it to Tom.
Give it to Tom.
Give it to
Okay. Give it to Donna. We all know that Donna runs the show.
There you go. There you go.
Tom's my husband, if you didn't get that reference. It's my pleasure to introduce, and you all know him, Jerry Daniels, who has done such a wonderful job on this bronze sculpture. A couple years ago, we approached him about doing this for our downtown and our community, and he jumped at the chance, and we were absolutely thrilled. So Jerry, it's time for you now to say a few words.
I'm using borrowed glasses. I don't remember things like I used to, so thanks, Crystal.
You're welcome.
Before I start, I do have notes, and don't get panicky, just to keep me on track, because I do get off track. I should tell you how important it is for me as an artist to have a piece here in Hastings, and a piece that's so close to where I spent a lot of years. I was born in Hastings, Mary Landing, and I grew up in McCook. I came here to go to college, met my wife here, best thing that ever happened to me. We got married after I was in the service for a little while, and after I did my obligation and finished my obligation, I'll wait for the train to go by. Tom said when the first one goes, I keep talking, when the second one you're done. Can't talk. Okay, I think that's died down enough. Where was I? Yes. I came, after Phyllis and I were in the Army a while, we came back to Hastings. I was going to find a job. Had no intention of staying here, by the way. And I met the second best thing was meeting Mr. Langston. And after a number of conversations, he offered me a job. It sounded like something I might like to do. 45 years later, I'm retired now from the Dutton Langston Company. I'm just hopefully going to spend the rest of my time creating more of this kind of work. This project started, as Donna said, in my studio as a small sculpture, and I went to get the research on this, and there's a reason. You have to do a little authentic research. I was lucky to have a neighbor who was one heck of a photographer. That's Jorn Olson, and his archives are amazing. I think there must have been thousands of pictures of cranes jumping, leaping, doing things like this. And so that caught my eye, and I thought that's what I would use as my theme. And about that time, my neighbor Donna came by and said, would you have something that we could use in the downtown? And I said, well, I'm working on this crane, and maybe that would work. And she liked the idea. And so she has a committee of young ladies that help put these ideas together. Diane Benkowski, Sherry Patterson, and Peg Wallace. And they liked the concept and asked me if I'd present it to the CRA. So they were my cheerleaders. We went over to the CRA, and that was the Whoops. Yes, we've got to go to the Sierra right here. I knew I'd get these numbered for a reason. The Sierra usually didn't do projects of this size. They're smaller, if you notice, around town. So we had to present a good idea. And luckily, Randy Chick is heading up that group, and he is a very forward-thinking young guy. And
Thank you for the young part.
oh, there you are. I didn't mean to embarrass you. But Randy's responsible for a lot of the projects downtown, and certainly the public art. And so we're, as artists, very pleased about that. After the groundwork, I started putting together an armature. And since I've never done anything like this, I went to a friend of mine, Jim Pierce, who's a welder and all-around metal man. And with a little Jimmy Reagan and Jerry Reagan, we figured out how to make an armature. Thank goodness it held most of the time. And then Randy asked me if I'd come downtown and do the sculpture, and I went to a building that was still empty, I think, across from Eileen's Cookies. And so some of you were there watching, so that was a lot of fun. Luckily I had two studio mates there that were good friends, still are good friends, and they really helped and encouraged me. So I want to thank Todd and Cody, and I know I saw them somewhere. Here they are. They're both fantastic artists, if you don't know part of what they do anyway. Then I pushed clay for a while, and finally had to make a mold. A fellow came out from Colorado to do that. Then we took it back. He cut it into 26 pieces, and that was quite something I've never seen before. But as they throw your clay over to the side, you think, oh my God. I guess he knew what he was doing, because after they cast it, then they have to weld it all back together. And then I had to go out a week ago and put the patina on it. That's the acid you put on the bronze to change the color. And I like what they've done there. And then we had to come up with a base, or a plinth, or whatever you want to call the thing it's sitting on. And I wanted it to be something different. So we made a circle, first of all. And then I chose a kind of metal that's called cortan, and it naturally rusts. And so it'll continue to change the way it looks as the years go by. And being a man of maturity, I decided I couldn't wait that long, so I put a little juice on it. I went online and found this formula that artists use: vinegar and salt and peroxide, and we squirted that on there, and by golly, it started changing color. So we've got a head start on it. And I wanted to have these river-looking forms, grasses and cattails and things. And luckily, Dutton Links Company has a young man named David Reinhardt. He's out to their equity division, and he helped me design and put that base together, which I'm real pleased about. The final step was preparing the site. And I don't think originally, like Randy, we even knew where it was going to go, did we? We just knew we were going to make a sculpture and put it somewhere. And I believe it was Charlie's idea, Charlie Herms, of putting it down at this location. And I think that's, to me, it was great because of my many years here at the company. And that part of the street needed a little reclamation anyway. So the grass, fence, plantings, lights, sprinkler system, quite a few items were donated by the company. And a lot of man hours, probably more than they wanted to keep track of. So Bill did most of this on their end of it, I should say. And the final thank you is kind of a first full circle, because the other day Jordan came and shot a picture of it, and I had Cornerstone Press printed those. That's Jordan's picture, and it's kind of a memento of the evening. And I want to thank Jordan for the beginning and the end, I guess. So, the final thing I'm going to ask you to, if you want to, join me. I shouldn't do this in front of one of my kids, because he'll call the other one and and think it's time to put me in a home, but I went down to the Platte River yesterday and got some Platte River water. It's in a bucket over here, and then I had these little cups made. So I think even though the crane's probably seen enough water in the last couple of days, I thought we'd all go over there, and those that want to. And yeah, there's the genuine certified Platte River water. And, yeah, in the bottom it's a little gunky, so take it off the top. And we'll throw it up and christen the crane. That'll be the final act. Okay? Thank you all for coming.